Hi there, it's Carl Irwin, the Common Magician, and I've got something interesting to show you that I'd like to share with you. I've got some dice over here. We'll get to these in a moment. We'll come back to that. But first, I want to take a look at this deck of cards. I'm just going to give this a quick shuffle, and I just want to make sure that we get a truly randomized kind of situation here for our little, just an experiment, something that I want to try. I've got these cards, and we're just going to spread them out. I've got some dice. You can see that when you roll them, you get something different every time. We've rolled a number. We've got, what, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 is the number we have. Randomized deck. And truly, these are normal. These are normal. You can see that they have all of the spots on them. When you do roll them, you do get something different every time. They're not what we call loaded, right, or weighted in any way, but 12 is our number. Let's just check real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. The 12th card in this deck is actually the Joker, which is kind of interesting. I guess we had 2 chances. Actually, no, we only had 1 chance. There's only 1 Joker in this deck, and that's not the most interesting thing, though, actually, about this, because you can see all the backs in this deck are black back, all the cards. But this card at 12 from Fair Dice, rolled fairly, the Joker is gold. Interesting. So this is from Annemann, 202 Methods of Forcing, and this is a really interesting idea that some people won't have the stomach for it, and some people will find this intriguing. I find it intriguing. I've been playing with dice a lot over the last year and a half or so, not just regular dice, but often loaded dice. And I've got, well, toppers is what I use. So I've got an arsenal of toppers that you've seen show up in some of the tricks that I do that will force me values. In this case, these are 3 regular dice. These are really 3 normal dice. And the claim in Annemann is that if you roll 3 dice, you will get a 10 or 11 the majority of the time. High probability. It indicates that every few rolls you'll get 10 or 11. I have found that not to be the case. I find that I get 12. 12 is the more popular roll. I haven't crunched the numbers on this, but in general, what you'll find is that for these numbers, 10, 11, 12, you have more mathematical opportunities to hit that than you do with the more extreme numbers. The most extremes being 3, 1, 1, 1, or 18, 6, 6, 6. There's only one way to roll those, and as you go closer towards the center from those possibilities, you have more numerical options to hit. 12 is what I find. So how did this work? Well, I've got my card at the 12th position already in the bottom. And because it's 12 up, it's like 1/4 of the deck, it's easy in this case to just maintain the bottom stock, right? False strip. Actually, real strip, I just leave the bottom there and then shuffle, just keeping the bottom stock. And then whenever I go to spread, I just count into where I'm at. The real question is about the dice. How do you manage this so that you hit it when you need to? Because the probability might be decent, but it's not that great. It's not great probability. I think Annemann slightly overstates it. So this is how it went in this case. What I did is I just automatically rolled the dice at the beginning of this, and right here I can see that I hit 12, right? Do I hit 12? Right? 6 and 6 is 12. If I roll it one time and I hit 12, I just set these aside and I say we'll come back to that in a minute. And then I try to pay no mind to it, do the quick randomization, and then put the cards out, and then I hit the number. Is that the best case scenario? No, it's not the best case scenario, but it's the workable one, right? If I roll this and it doesn't hit what I want, then what I do is I just roll it again, and then I say, I've got some dice here, we'll come back to that in a moment, and then I set them aside. Then I do my prep over here with my bottom retention shuffles. And then I say, I've got these dice here, And the interesting thing about this is that they're completely normal dice. Now what I've just done is I've rolled it again without pointing to the fact that I'm trying to do something. I just rolled it. And then I go on and say these are completely normal dice. You can see that all of the spots are on here. Everything is available to us, right? So that when we roll, we always get a different number. From the moment I say different number, I probably have about 3 rolls that I can take from that point, in addition to all of the rolls that I've already done, which is about 5 or 6 up to this point, right? I'm rolling up until the point where I make a point of the fact that it's different numbers every time. And now from this point, I get approximately 3 rolls to hit what I need. I still have more options after that. I'm going to go into it. This is not in Animan. This is my own thinking on this because, again, I think Animan's odds are a little generous on this, right? So I say you get different numbers every time. Now, I could have hit it at any point in there. I could have hit either 11 or 12 for what I'm doing, or 10 and 11 by what Animan says. But I've made my claim that they come up different every time. And then I roll, and then I roll it again, right? And I show, and here I hit it. And I say, you can see that we've hit a number, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Very interesting. Random number, right? From regular dice. And then you go. That was on the second roll, I think it was. I could roll it again on a third time and see what I get. Obviously, this is not going to hit what I need. And then here's my next out. I can say, in fact, you don't have to believe me. You go ahead and try. Go ahead and roll them. They roll, and if it comes out right, and you got to do a quick calculation, you stop there, and that's a really perfect ending. You actually have several perfect outcomes that are really solid. If they roll once after you've been rolling and it's the one you want, well, it's the one that they rolled, right? And then you can say, if it's not, say, go ahead, roll it again just to see. It's different every time. You could also hit on that one, and if that one's good, then that's it. Then you take them back, right? And you say, what we need is a number. We need a number to work with. And you can see I've hit it here again, 12. Now at this point, if you have to go all the way to this where you've rolled without explaining, you demonstrate that they're normal, right? Dice, and they come up different every time. You get 3 shots. You didn't get it there. You say, no, really, you go ahead and roll just to see. They roll, you either hit it there, they roll again, you hit it there maybe. If you don't hit it there, you really only have about 1 more shot. And then at this point, you're up a creek. Now the hope is that in all of those, you're going to hit the number you want. Either the number you want or one that you can work with. You might consider, as you get towards the ends of these options, getting to a number that might not be the one you want or one you could work with, being one shy, but maybe one you can manipulate, right? You could manipulate. You could, maybe if I got 10, I could do a quick smear and say, actually, I want to do this the other way. And I could pick up a card and, right, reverse 1 card to the top, and then decrease my count by 1. Now I can count to 10, which leaves me off where I want, or I could have done 2 or whatever the case is. So manipulation is also a possibility. Now there's scenarios in which you might use this, like I think a more organic kind of scenario would be like a book test, right? If you're doing a book test where you're rolling a number and you're getting a page number, and then use that number again for the number, the 12th word on the page or something like that. If you're doing that, there's not any really manipulation you can get away with. You really have to get the number that you want. So let's just go through this again just to test some probability. I say that you have probably 3 rolls at the very beginning that you can just get for free, right? You have the dice, you roll them, you do quick calculations, and you see if you can get it. Because you can always, in retrospect, point to the fact that you hit or did not hit what you wanted. Here I've got 11. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 3 for free, I would not press my luck. I would say I've got some dice here, and you can see you get different numbers every time. We'll come back to that in a minute. And leave them there. Pay no mind to the number. They know that you've rolled them. You're going to allude to it later. Move on with the other part of it. Come back to the dice. Let's see, what do we have here? 11. Now let's take a look. Okay, so just in probability, we hit it. Try it again, starting over. I think you get 3 for 3 that you can roll, right? So right here we've got what? 11 again. First one, right? I got one that I can work with. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Let's start over again, right? You get 3 for free to start. Let's try to make, I want to try to find the worst outcome. So far, we're not getting it, okay? You've got dice there that you can roll and test the odds. We went over on that one, right? You can roll it again. Probably want to do this a number of times in practice so that you can at least recognize whenever hits happen. I got 3 in and I didn't get what I wanted. I went over, way under one time, over 2 times. I do my business over here. I come back to the dice. I can roll them probably once or twice for free to see if I hit. I have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and I got it. Okay, so I got it. Let's start over again. No. 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 3 for free. Couple for free. Yes. Start over again. 3 for free. No. 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 Come back to the dice. Couple for free. No. Yes. So I'm not even getting to a point where I have to start talking about these are regular dice, and you can see every time you roll them, they're different. In which case I start over and I get 3 more tries, right, to hit. No, no, yes, right? So it does happen, right? This kind of management, if you have a sequence of events that gives you like 10 rolls that are all completely justified, you're probably gonna hit this, right? You'd be really unlucky to not hit it by the time you need to. So one last recap: 3 for nothing. You can do 3 at the beginning just to show. We have dice. We'll come back to that in a moment. Either you've hit it by the first, second, or third, and you'll come back to them in a moment, or you've just played around with them, right? And they don't matter. We'll come back to them in a moment. They don't matter right now. You do come back to them. You get a couple of rolls for free. You're either going to hit it there. If you don't hit it there, you can say these are regular dice. It's got all the spots on each and every one of them. And you can see that every time you roll them, you get a different number, right? Now you get 3 more shots to probably hit it. You're either going to get it here or you're going to get it in one of the next 2. In this case, what, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I'm over, right? I get 1 more roll here that I can get away with, and I either hit it or I don't, and I did. I got my 11. Let's say I didn't. You can say, no, really, go ahead and try to roll them yourself. Go ahead and inspect them. Give them a roll. Either they hit it, which they don't. Say roll it again. You can see you get something different every time. And now I hit it. And they're the ones that did it, which is really great. If they don't hit it, say, now what we really need is we need a number that we can use with the deck of cards over here. And that's probably the last chance. If you don't get the number or you get too greedy, you've really wasted everything. Okay, but as you can see, you're probably going to hit it. You might be able to pick up and do 1 more, but you'll be sweating bullets by the time you get there. But anyway, 3 regular dice, 10 and 11 according to Animan, 12 according to me, 11, 12 I think seems to be the more likely outcome. You can see from those rolls and watch back and see what I hit and what it looks like. Other things dealing with dice that are not in Animan but I think are really, really great. Let's see here. Let's try something. Let's try this. So I've got my cards. I'm going to give them a shuffle, and I've got some dice here. You can see I've got 4 dice that we're going to use. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to shake these up. and then we'll dump them out and we see what we get. So what do we have here? We've got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We rolled 14 from these dice, okay? And let's see what we get. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and here is 14. You already know the outcome. So this is another type of forcing dice that are not, this is not in Animen, but it's another very popular form. There's one other type of forcing dice that's in there that are prepared that involves, and I'm not going to mock this up for you, but involves 2 dice that have a string that is looped between them that goes through the bottom of a cup. You put your finger in that loop underneath the cup. You make the dice bounce up and down. You can even show them to someone. They move around, right? You bounce up and down, and then at the last moment, you pull down on the string with your finger, and it will snap the dice to the bottom of the cup where the holes go through for the string at a forced amount, right? These are forcing dice, but they're a different kind of forcing dice. These are 4 dice, and what they are is actually 2 dice that are glued together, right? And on both of these, you only get 7 any way they roll. They're going to lay this way, 6 plus 1 is 7, or they're going to lay this way, 5 plus 2 is 7. On the other side, 6 plus 1 is 7, 5 plus 2 is 7. And then this one has a variation on that. 4 plus 3 is 7, 5 plus 2 is 7, 3 plus 4 is 7, 2 plus 5 is 7. So together, you're always going to end up with that 14 force, right? It's based on the top and bottom equaling 7. You're always going to get 7 on both sides, no matter what is rolled. So you can roll them, dump it out, give it a good shake to make sure everything falls down and nothing's standing up. And then you can just treat them very carefully, square them up with your fingers, slide them out. You can show what they are. You could even make these so that they have maybe a breakaway feature if you have like a double stick tape that's sticky enough, and then whenever you bring them out you can separate them. A lot of possibilities there, just thinking on the fly about this. But this is a pretty well known to magicians sort of forcing die concept. Often you just see it done with just 2, but I find that if you do 2 together, you can even handle them in the hands just with a little bit of shadow of the fingers, and they look legit, right? You can shake them around, say, actually we'll do this so that it's really fair. Put them in there, dump them out, give it a good shake, make sure that everything sits right. My tape fell apart, but anyway, you can see how this can work. Those kinds of forcing dice. Dice. I have a person on here, I don't know if I mentioned this, but there's one person that follows me on the channel that will frequently say they don't like dice. They don't like dice and gambling routines and things like that. The one thing about dice is that they are incredibly organic. People have these in their houses. They use them with board games, that you can pull them off of the game shelf. If you're using regular dice, and the properties of regular dice can be very organic. That plus a book, and you can do a book test using this simple probability force that just has, potential for an out that just arrives through probability. Hitting 10, 11, as Animen suggests, or as I think 11, 12. Seems to be more common for reasons I don't know. I probably will crunch the numbers on this just to see if there's an explanation for that. But anyway, there it is. Forces unknown. The 3 dice force. 3 dice force. Good luck with that. Happy magicking.